Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, so you've sent us this incredible stack of sources, really detailing one of the most uh, concentrated periods of, well, corporate and personal warfare we've seen in Genoa City.
It's pretty intense stuff.
Yeah, we're focusing on just 2 weeks here, right? September 15th through the 26th. And it's just packed. Sabotage, these high-stakes revenge plots, relationship ultimatums.
Yeah.
It feels like everything's about to blow up.
It really does. And, our mission today isn't just to, list what happened. We need to really analyze it.
Right.
We want to dissect the mechanics of betrayal here and really dig into what happens to trust when these huge global business things smash right into very personal, sometimes really destructive private lives.
Yeah.
The level of planning, especially in the corporate stuff, it's kind of extraordinary.
It really is. And the sources are pointing to two main battlegrounds dominating this period. First, you've got Kane Ashby. His revenge scheme against Victor Newman is just incredibly elaborate. And the kicker is Billy Abbott seems to be walking right into the middle of it, like a completely unwitting pawn.
Completely clueless, it seems. And then, running right alongside that corporate explosion, you have this emotional powder keg with Kyle Abbott and Claire Grace.
Ah, yes. Kyle's jealousy.
Oh, it's more than jealousy, isn't it? The source is painted as this intense, almost suffocating possessiveness, and it's tearing on a relationship that, honestly, should probably be his safe space right now.
So we're looking at corporate collapse and emotional implosion happening at the exact same time.
Pretty much. It's a perfect storm in Genoa City.
Okay, let's unpack that corporate conspiracy first. Because Kane Ashby, this isn't just a hostile takeover attempt, is it? It feels more like he's setting a psychological trap.
That's exactly the right way to put it. It's not just business strategy. Kane knows Billy. He knows Billy's hatred for Victor isn't logical. It's pathological.
This is Achilles' heel.
It is. It's cost Billy so much again and again. And Kane is basically banking on that flaw to execute his plan and, get away clean.
So how deep does the deception go? The sources mention a conversation with Amanda.
Right, this is crucial. Amanda asks him straight up, are you actually giving Billy this powerful AI program? And Kane's answer, according to the source material, is just chillingly calm. He says, not really.
Wow, just not really.
Yeah.
That changes everything. So Billy thinks he's finally the one in charge, the mastermind about to crush Victor Newman.
He thinks he holds the weapon.
But Kane is secretly pulling the strings the entire time, controlling the AI himself.
Exactly. Billy's just the front man. Highly motivated, yes, because Kane's feeding his obsession, but ultimately expendable. It's a brilliant, ruthless double cross.
And Kane's feeding him exactly what he wants to hear. The sources talk about them discussing dismantling Newman Enterprises together.
Oh, absolutely. They apparently bond over it. Billy confesses he's dreamed of taking down Victor for years and years. You can just imagine the scene. This isn't just business for Billy. It's like deep personal validation wrapped up in a corporate power play. And Kane is just expertly pushing all the right buttons to make sure Billy stays focused, stays angry, and stays completely blind to what's really happening.
So this AI program, it's not just like stealing emails, is it? What makes it such a potent threat to Newman Enterprises?
No, it's far beyond that, based on the descriptions. It sounds like systemic infiltration. This thing isn't just about data theft. It seems designed to disrupt core operations.
Like freezing assets, messing with the stock.
Potentially, yeah. And exposing those deep, dark financial secrets, Victor always keeps buried under layers of lawyers and NDAs. Kane's essentially built a digital WMD.
Wow.
And by making Billy believe he's the one launching it, Kane ensures Billy will be reckless. He'll go for maximum damage because he thinks it's his victory. All while Kane maintains plausible deniability. It was Billy. He went rogue.
Which explains why by the week of the 22nd, Kane's ready to go. He's got the weapon, the target, and the fall guy all lined up.
The sources explicitly say he's ready to put the plan in motion, using Billy as his front man, as the scapegoat.
And Billy's already vulnerable, right? His own earlier plan failed.
Yeah, that's key context from the previous week's sources. Billy tried going direct. He tried threatening Victor, blackmailing him with the existence of the software alone.
And Victor just laughed it off.
Well, the notes say the attempt obviously is going to fail. Victor doesn't yield to threats, especially not from Billy Abbott.
True.
So that failure backs Billy into a corner. It makes him feel like he needs Kane. He needs Kane's help to make the software work, completely unaware that Kane's help comes with, let's say, strings attached. Fatal strings.
Okay, but a plan this big, Kane can't do it alone, even with Billy as the front. This is where the posse comes in.
Right. This alliance network gets really murky really fast. Kane arranges this crucial meeting on September 19th. He calls together his posse, that's the term used, to go over the plan of attack on Victor.
Who's potentially in this posse?
The names floated are Billy, obviously, Phyllis, Amanda, Michael Baldwin, and possibly Holden.
Holden. Interesting.
Yeah. And the sources stress the risk here. If this meeting happens, everyone there is essentially putting a target on their back. They risk being publicly outed as a Kane ally.
And being Victor Newman's enemy, that's not a good place to be.
Not good at all. It's a potential career ender, maybe worse. Financial ruin, personal attacks. Victor plays dirty.
Speaking of dirty plays and shady alliances, Michael Baldwin. This is a fascinating subplot.
Oh, it's huge. So Michael goes to Phyllis, someone he has a complicated history with, and tells her he's officially on Team Kane Ashby. Trying to mend fences, maybe.
But Phyllis isn't buying it.
Not for a second. The alarm bells go off immediately. Michael drops this huge red flag. He says Lauren, his wife, doesn't know and can't know about the job with Kane.
Okay, yeah. For Michael lying to Lauren, that's massive.
Exactly. Historically, Lauren's been his absolute priority. So Phyllis, who's nobody's fool, especially when it comes to corporate schemes.
She smells a rat.
Totally. She knows something's not right, so she gives him an ultimatum. Basically, tell me what your real game is, Michael, or I'm going straight to Kane and telling him you're being shady.
Wow. That puts Michael in an impossible position.
Absolutely impossible. Because he can't tell Phyllis the truth. He just can't.
Which is?
He's spying. For Victor Newman.
No way.
Yes, Michael Baldwin is the mole inside Kane's operation. He's feeding information about Kane's plan directly back to Victor, the intended target.
So he's lying to Kane, lying to Lauren.
Lying to Phyllis now, too, by omission at least. The psychological pressure on him must be immense. He's trying to protect Lauren by keeping her in the dark, betraying Kane while pretending to be an ally, and now he's got Phyllis threatening to expose him. But she doesn't even know what she'd be exposing.
Just that he's shady. Which, if Kane hears that...
Kane might connect the dots, or Phyllis might figure it out herself, or Victor might find out Michael's cover is blown. Any way you slice it, Michael is walking a tightrope over a canyon. And all this while Lauren's busy planning their wedding.
The irony is just, oh, wow. Okay. And predictably, this corporate mess spills right over into people's personal lives, doesn't it? Let's talk of the emotional fallout, starting with Sally Spectra. She seems to be drawing a line.
Yeah, Sally's basically acting as Billy's last shred of common sense, which, he seems determined to ignore.
Right.
She's clearly distressed. She confides in Diane, saying Billy is about to make the biggest mistake of his life. Sally gets it. She understands Kane's likely manipulating him, and she definitely understands the danger of crossing Victor, especially when you think you have control but actually don't.
And this isn't just worry, it's leading to a major ultimatum.
Yeah.
Say September 16th?
She puts her foot down, as the source says, tells Billy straight up, I will walk if you do this with Kane.
That's huge. She's putting their entire relationship on the line, their future versus his obsession.
It's a massive gamble on her part, laying down that boundary. But here's the really telling part. The sources add a note saying that even with this threat, Billy might still do it.
Unbelievable.
It tells you everything about where Billy's head is at. This need for revenge against Victor. It's become so core to who he is, apparently, that it's stronger than his desire for a stable life with Sally. He's choosing potential destruction over building something real.
Meanwhile, Kane isn't just focused on business. He's also working an angle with Lily.
Oh, yeah. Kane's multitasking his manipulations. While he's setting Billy up to take the fall, he's simultaneously trying to win back Lily. The sources mention him trying to charm Lily around Thursday, September 18th.
And does it work? The source says it may work to some extent.
Yeah, to some extent feels like the key phrase there. Maybe he gets a flicker of warmth. Maybe she momentarily remembers the good times. But her fundamental position seems unchanged.
Because she tells Devin something else entirely.
Exactly. She confides in Devin, her brother, someone she trusts that she is absolutely not softening on Kane. In fact, she thinks it might be best if their twins, Maddie and Charlie, just cut Kane out of their lives completely. For good.
Wow, that's harsh. But understandable given their history.
Extremely harsh. But yeah, you have to remember the context. The sources wisely bring up that history. Specifically, the image of Lily walking in on Devin and Abby Newman together on the sofa.
Right, the cheating scandal. That was brutal. Public humiliation on top of personal betrayal.
Precisely. That image, that feeling, it's not just a bad memory for Lily. It's like the defining proof for her of Kane's fundamental untrustworthiness when it comes to commitment and loyalty. So any charm he uses now, any promises he makes, she sees it all through that lens.
She sees a pattern. His corporate scheming, even against Victor, probably just confirms for her that he's still playing high-stakes, destructive games.
It reinforces the idea that he hasn't really changed,
Yeah.
which leads him to, well, another manipulation tactic.
Yeah.
He recruits outside help for his personal campaign, too. Amanda agrees to try and befriend Lily to help Kane win his ex back.
So he's running parallel schemes, using Billy as a corporate pawn and Amanda as a social spy.
Looks like it. Amanda's mission, apparently, is to get close to Lily, gain her trust, and then subtly, advocate for Kane, smooth the path for his return.
It really underscores that Kane seems incapable of earning trust back directly. He thinks he can just manipulate relationships like pieces on a chessboard.
Or look, lines of code in that AI program. It's all strategy and leverage to him, it seems.
And this whole thing is pulling in the big guns, the family heads. Jack Abbott sounds worried.
Very worried. He issues a pretty serious warning directly to Nikki Newman. Jack's concerned Victor's back on one of his anti-Abbott vendettas.
A classic Newman-Abbott war brewing.
Exactly. And Jack warns Nikki that this time he won't hold back. He sees this not just as Billy versus Victor, but as a potential systemic attack on the whole Abbott family and Jabot.
So what's his play? Damage control.
Yeah, he immediately starts trying to manage the situation. Specifically, he reaches out to Victoria, hoping maybe she can intervene, talk some sense into Billy, convince him to back away from Kane's crazy plan.
Which puts Victoria in a terrible spot.
Oh, absolutely. A huge moral and family conflict. The sources say her decision-making is driven by two big things. One, she desperately wants to avoid another nuclear war with the Abbotts. That's bad for business, bad for family dynamics. And two, she doesn't want Billy, the father of two of her children, going down the drain.
So it's not just about protecting Newman Enterprises from the attack. It's self-preservation and, well, maternal instinct maybe, protecting her kid's father.
I think that's a fair reading. If Kane's plan works as intended, Billy's the scapegoat. He faces ruin, maybe even legal trouble. Saving Billy isn't just about Billy. It's about shielding her kids from that fallout and preventing another endless, destructive family feud.
So the sources suggest she might actually agree to Jack's request.
It seems like she's seriously considering it, yeah. Because the alternative, letting Billy crash and burn, triggering all-out war, might be even worse for her and her family in the long run. Family ties might just trump corporate loyalty here. Temporarily, at least.
And while all this boardroom and family drama is happening, there's a media angle too. Adam Newman and Chelsea.
Right. The Newman machine always has multiple angles. Adam apparently has Chelsea in a difficult position. The speculation is this relates directly to the Billy situation. Newman Media might be prepping a hit piece.
On what?
On AbbottCom, Billy's new venture not launching or failing spectacularly. If Billy's company stumbles because of this war, you can bet a Newman publication will be there to twist the knife, maximize the public embarrassment, hurt the stock. Standard operating procedure.
So the pressure on Billy is coming from literally everywhere. His enemy Victor, his supposed partner Kane, his girlfriend Sally threatening to leave, his brother Jack trying to intervene.
There's really no escape hatch for him, is there? Every direction he turns, there's pressure or manipulation or an ultimatum. He's completely boxed in.
Okay, let's pivot now to that second major conflict zone. The relationship crisis between Kyle Abbott and Claire Grace. It feels like this whole thing, which was supposed to be a fresh start for both of them, is just being poisoned.
Completely poison. And the source seems to be Kyle's own deep-seated possessiveness.
It starts with money, right? That $5 million contract.
Yeah, Claire tells Victoria about this $5 million deal between Kyle and Victor. And Victoria, interestingly, tries to spin it first. Like, oh, that shows how much Kyle loves you, how committed he is.
But then she backtracks.
Almost immediately. She also calls Victor's involvement shady, which, of course, plants a seed of doubt for Claire. Is this love, or is it a transaction? Is Victor pulling strings in her personal life now, too? It adds this layer of unease right from the start.
But the real trigger, the thing that really sets Kyle off, is Holden Novak appearing on the scene.
Oh, absolutely. Kyle's reaction is immediate and, frankly, way over the top, according to the sources. He tells Nate Hastings that Holden has latched on to Claire.
Latched on. Like she's property.
Exactly. And he's instantly worried about Holden taking advantage of her. He jumps straight to the worst-case scenario.
Which sounds like possessiveness trying to disguise itself as protectiveness.
That's a perfect description. He sees any other guy paying attention to Claire, even if it's totally innocent, as a direct threat. A threat to his claim on her. He doesn't seem to trust Claire's judgment or her ability to handle herself.
And that controlling vibe is exactly what pushes Claire away.
She tells Victoria exactly that. She says she didn't like Kyle's over-the-top jealous reaction to Holden. She calls him kind of possessive and just too much.
She's recognizing a pattern, maybe one she's seen before.
It feels suffocating to her, you can tell. It shifts the dynamic from, a partnership of equals to Kyle trying to be her gatekeeper, her sole protector against the world.
Which leads to a confrontation.
Yes. She asks him directly, "Were you grilling Nate about Holden?" Trying to get information behind her back.
And Kyle's defense is,
predictably, "I just want to protect you." The classic line.
but his idea of protection is actually undermining the trust, isn't it?
Completely. It backfires spectacularly. Claire tells him, straight up, that he is the one that she's not sure she can trust or not. His lack of faith in her has totally eroded her faith in him.
That's powerful. His jealousy created the very insecurity he was supposedly trying to prevent.
It's the core paradox here. The moment that possessiveness becomes stronger than the trust, the relationship is already fundamentally damaged.
So how does Kyle react when she tells him this?
He pleads, basically. Asks her, "Can we just do a reset? Can we just start over as a couple?"
He wants a clean slate, but without actually addressing the root cause, his own behavior.
Exactly. He's not saying, "I understand why you feel that way, I need to change." He's saying, "Let's just forget this happened and go back to how it was," which isn't really a solution.
And this is where Victoria steps in with advice.
Yeah, and her advice is interesting. She tells Claire to give Kyle another chance, and then she drops this bombshell relaying something Kyle apparently told her. That he's never had feelings for anyone like he has for Claire. And get this, he didn't even feel that way about his ex-wife, Summer Newman.
Wow. Bringing Summer into it? That's bold.
It's incredibly bold. Victoria seems to be trying to perform emotional first aid, maybe trying to keep the peace between the families. Maybe she genuinely believes Kyle's passion is real this time.
But how does Claire take that? Hearing he feels this intensely after such a short time and comparing her to his recent ex.
Right. For Claire, who's already feeling overwhelmed by his intensity, hearing that he's so emotionally volatile might not be reassuring at all. It could just underscore his instability, making her doubt him even more. It's a risky move by Victoria.
It's fascinating how this relationship drama then loops back, weirdly, to Audra Charles.
Yeah, that's an unexpected connection. Kyle's worried Nate hates him now, presumably because of the Claire situation. But Nate offers a kind of truce. He says, "Look, we're both Audra Charles's victims."
Wow, the shared trauma defense.
Pretty much. It's the one thing they can agree on. Nate even shows some empathy, saying he thinks Claire was the one most hurt by Audra's manipulations.
That's interesting. Shows Nate still feels some guilt, maybe.
Could be. And crucially, Nate declares he is done with Audra for good, which is immediately followed by a source note saying Audra is definitely going to roll up on him soon, wanting to get back together.
Of course she is.
Right. But for a moment, this shared history with Audra acts as this weird, temporary bridge between Kyle and Nate. It distracts them from their rivalry over Claire, reminding them they've both been burned by intense manipulation before. It's a very strange sort of common ground.
Okay, so we've got these huge corporate plots and intense relationship dramas dominating. But there are also smaller, more personal stories unfolding that still echo those big themes of secrecy and needing to escape. We need to touch on Mariah Copeland.
Yes, Mariah's situation is quite different but equally heavy. She arranges this clandestine meeting with Daniel Romalotti in the park.
Clandestine.
Meaning secret. Specifically, behind her wife Tessa Porter's back. Mariah insisted Daniel keep the meeting totally confidential.
Okay, that sounds ominous initially, is it? An affair?
No, the reason is much more serious, much more internal. Mariah has decided she needs to leave town for a while.
Why? Where's she going?
It's not about where she's going, it's about why she's leaving. She needs to get away to work through her issues over trying to kill the old guy.
Oh, right, that incident. That was intense.
Extremely intense. So this isn't a vacation, It's a desperate need for psychological space. She needs to process the trauma, the guilt, the fact that she acted on that violent impulse.
And the fact she can't even tell Tessa about needing this time.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes about how much shame she must be feeling.
Immense shame, yeah. It's a burden she feels she has to carry alone right now.
So why meet with Daniel? What does she need from him?
The sources suggest she might be asking him a favor. Like, could he just keep an eye on Tessa while she's gone? Not in an intrusive way, but just be there, make sure she's okay.
A protective friend role.
Sort of, yeah. A sign that even though Mariah needs solitude to heal, she's still worried about the person she's leaving behind. And Daniel apparently agrees to help.
It's a sad situation. Shows how sometimes secrets aren't about betrayal, but about managing personal demons.
Exactly. And it highlights how isolating trauma can be, even when you have loved ones.
And then, in complete contrast to Mariah's secret struggles and Michael Baldwin's hidden espionage, we have Lauren Fenmore.
Yes. Lauren provides this stark, almost jarring contrast. While her husband is neck-deep in lies and corporate spying, Lauren is totally focused on domestic bliss.
Wedding planning.
Working hard to impress Christine Williams, planning their wedding, which is apparently scheduled for October. She's all about floral arrangements and guest lists, completely oblivious, it seems.
Wow. The juxtaposition is incredible. Lauren's building this public symbol of commitment and stability,
While Michael is actively engaged in something that could literally destroy their lives. Prison time, financial ruin, public disgrace. It's all on the table if his spying goes wrong.
It really hammers home that theme again. The people who seem the most stable, the most settled, might be living right next to a ticking time bomb without even knowing it.
That outward calm, that veneer of normalcy,
Yeah.
it's often the most fragile thing in Genoa City, and the most vulnerable.
Okay, so as these 2 weeks draw to a close, everything seems poised to just detonate. The week of September 22nd to the 26th feels like the deadline for major decisions, major confrontations.
Absolutely, the pressure cooker is about to blow. Kane's team, with Michael, the mole, still presumably inside, is ready to make its move against Victor.
The plan goes live.
The plan goes live. The corporate showdown isn't just likely, the sources say it's imminent, and Billy is standing right there at ground zero, totally oblivious, ready to be the scapegoat for what he thinks will be his greatest triumph.
At the same time, Victoria has to make her call, right? Jack's plea versus Victor and Newman Enterprises.
Yes, her decision point arrives. Does she step in to stop Billy, potentially betraying Victor's trust, but maybe preventing that nuclear war with the Abbotts and saving her kid's dad?
Or does she let it play out, stay loyal to the company line, and watch Billy self-destruct?
It's a massive choice, with huge potential consequences either way. Intervening means risking Victor's wrath. Not intervening means living with the fallout of Billy's likely disruption and the subsequent family war. It's a career-defining, maybe even life-defining moment for her.
And then there's Claire. She's got her own big relationship decision to make.
Does she take Victoria's advice, try that reset with Kyle, and believe his intense declarations of love?
Or does she listen to her own doubts, fueled by his possessiveness, especially with Holden Novak apparently staying very close in her periphery?
Right. Holden now represents the alternative, maybe less exciting, less intense than Kyle, but seemingly more stable, less volatile. Claire's choice is really between that consuming, potentially destructive passion Kyle offers and the possibility of something calmer, safer.
The classic dilemma.
It really is. She has to weigh Kyle's words against his recent actions.
And finally, Jack and Diane are also strategizing, looking out for themselves.
They have to. They're discussing what the sources call their Billy and Victor problem. They realize they need a defensive posture.
Not just against Victor, but against Billy, too.
Explicitly. They need to protect themselves from Victor's inevitable counterattack, yes, but also from Billy himself and his gambling nature.
Because Billy's impulsiveness makes him collateral damage waiting to happen.
Exactly, especially now that he's tied up with someone like Kane. Jack and Diane are basically figuring out how much distance they need to put between themselves and Billy's scheme to avoid getting caught in the crossfire.
And through all this impending chaos, Kane just keeps going after Lily.
Relentlessly. The sources say he keeps trying to prove himself to Lily. Now with Amanda running interference for him, it shows his absolute persistence, or maybe obsession, despite making things impossibly difficult for himself. He just doesn't give up.
Okay, let's try to synthesize all this.
Yeah.
Our deep dive into these sources just these 2 weeks really shows what happens when obsession gets tangled up with opportunity. The destruction can be just systemic.
Absolutely. And the standout corporate move has to be the sheer depth of Kane's trap for Billy. It's not just using him, it's weaponizing Billy's own deepest flaw, that hatred for Victor against him, making sure Billy is the architect of his own downfall, essentially.
While thinking he's winning. It's diabolical.
It really is. And this whole period just screams that survival in this world often depends on managing secrets and keeping up appearances.
Yeah, the cost of deception is everywhere we looked. Michael Baldwin lying to everyone while his wife plans their wedding.
Or Mariah needing to flee town entirely because her secret trauma is too much to bear around her loved ones.
Yeah.
Every lie, every hidden truth, it just creates these fractures, cracks in the foundations of trust and loyalty.
And the pressure on the core relationships we saw was immense. Sally laying down the law with Billy, choose me or choose revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle's possessiveness pushing Claire right to the edge, maybe over it. Loyalty isn't just being tested here. It feels like it's actively being traded away.
Yeah, traded for revenge, traded for control, traded for what? Power. It drives home that inescapable point. Corporate battles in Genoa City always bleed into personal lives. They always become about betrayal.
Making trust, loyalty, stability, the rarest, most valuable things.
Exactly. The most expensive commodities, easily lost, almost impossible to truly get back once they've been compromised.
So as we wrap up, we want to leave you with a final thought, something to chew on that really ties together these high-stakes risks we've dissected.
Considering everything we've seen in just these 2 weeks, what do you think is actually the greater long-term risk?
Is it partnering with someone you fundamentally shouldn't trust, purely for revenge? Like Billy throwing in his lot with Kane, blindly believing he controls this corporate sabotage.
Is the greater risk trusting someone who's already shown they're capable of really extreme, maybe even dangerous emotional possessiveness? Like Claire trying to build a future with Kyle despite seeing all these red flags about his need for control.
Which character is taking the bigger gamble in the long run? Kane, the manipulator who needs a scapegoat to make his plan work. Or Kyle, the jealous lover whose intensity might destroy the very relationship he craves.
Who's really risking more? Something to think about until our next deep dive.